Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the chi-square test of independence, the Wilcoxon Rank-sum test, and lastly, the Krukal-Wallis test. But now, we are going to discuss first the chi-square test of independence. So what is the chi-square test of independence? So the one sample test of independence is different from the test of homogeneity. The sample used in this test consists of members randomly drawn from the same population. This test is used to look into whether measures taken on two criterion variables are either independent or associated with one in a given population using such variables as level of education and income, performance in class and IQ test, etc. So the chi-square test of independence formula is x squared is equal to the summation the quantity of O minus E raised to 2 all over E. So where x squared is chi-square test, O is equal to observed frequency, E is equal to expected frequencies, and this symbol is summation. Now, in the chi-square test of independence, we have example. So, 90 individuals, male and female, were given a test in psychomotor skills and their scores were classified into high and low using the x-squared test or the chi-squared test of independence at zero point zero 0.05 level of significance. The table is shown as follows. So, ito na po siya. So we have sex, male and female. In male, high, we have 18. The observed frequency and female, expected or the high or observed frequency, we have 32. So in expected frequency ay masasagutan po natin yan in the uh, sa susunod pong slides. In low, we have 28 in male and female we have 12. So the solving stepwise method, problem number 1, is there significant relationship between sex and scores in psychomotor skill? And hypothesis, there is no significant relationship between sex and scores in psychomotor skills. In alternative hypothesis, there is a significant relationship between sex and scores in psychomotor skills. Now, in level of significance at zero point zero 0.05, A is equal to zero point zero 0.05, the degree of freedom is equal to C minus 1 and times R minus 1. Because 2, we have 2 male and 2 male, we have 2 minus 1. Now, 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So, the final answer is 1. So, the x squared 0.05 or the tabular value is equal to 3.841. Now, in a statistic, we have the chi-square test of independent test. In computation, so makikita na po natin na ang expected frequency in male, we have 25.56, in female, 24.44, and the low in male, we have 20.44, and the female, 19.56. Now, ang computation po nito, for expected, multiply the column total to the row total and divide the product by the grand total. So, dito po pala, itong 46, kung magtatanong po kayo, disregard po natin yan kasi na-fill upan ko po yan. So, wala po yan. Focus po tayo dito sa 46 and 44 total. Now, to find this expected frequencies, so the total of high and the total of column in male, high and low, we have 46. So this is the grand total in this table. Now, the high total, we have 50, and the column, we have 46, and the grand total is 90. So, 50 times 46 all over 90 is equal to 25.56. So, ito po yung expected frequencies in male, 25.56. Now, in female po, we have 50, total of 50, and a total of 44, the high and low, 44. So we have 50 times 44 all over 90 is equal to 24.44 dito po sa high in female, 24.44. Now, dito naman po, in computation sa low, we have 40, the total of low, 28 plus 12 is equals to 40, and 40, the total of 40 in low times 46, we have all over 90 is equal to 20.44. Ito po siya, and then 40 times 44 over 90, the grand total is equal to 19.56. So, ito na po siya ang expected frequencies. Now, in computation po in this table, we have to follow the formula in chi-square test of independence. Ito po siya. So, we have O. Magsisimula po tayo dito sa male. Next, we have female. And then, to be followed the low and the 12, the last. So, we have 18. The O is 18. So, i-substitute po natin siya. O is equal to 18 and the E is 25.56. So, 18, ito po siya, 18 minus 25.56 squared all over 25.56 because E all over E plus 32. Ito po yung male. 32 minus 24, ito po siya, 24.44 squared all over 24.44 plus 28 minus 20.44 is to 2 all over 20.44 plus 12 minus 19.56 squared all over 19.56. So 18 minus 25.56 squared all over 25 is equal to 2.236 plus ito po, i-compute po natin to the same process. So ito na po ang answer niya. So in 18 sa male, ito po yung answer, and then the 32, ito po yung answer, 2.338. So ito na po siya. So in total, x squared or the chi-square test of independence is equal to 10.292. Now, in decision rule, if the x squared or the chi-square test of independence computed value is greater than the x squared tabular value, reject the hypothesis. Now, in conclusion, the x squared computed value of 10.292 is greater than the x squared tabular value of 3.841 at 0.05 level of significance with 1 degree of freedom. This leads to the confirmation of the research hypothesis, which means that a significant relationship exists between sex and scores and psychomotor skill. It implies it implies that the females' high scores are more in psychomotor skills than their male counterpart. So ito po yung stepwise method on how to compute the chi-square test of independence. So, doon po nagtatapos ang explanation about the chi-square test of independence. So now, proceed naman po tayo dito sa Wilcoxon Rank-sum test. So what is the Wilcoxon Rank-sum test? A non-parametric test can often be used provided the two independent samples are drawn from population with an ordinal distribution. So the formula of Wilcoxon Rank-sum test, we have U sub 1 is equal to W sub 1 minus N sub 1 times N sub 1 plus 1 all over 2. So we have U sub 2 is equal to W sub 2 minus N sub 1 times N sub 2 plus 1 all over 2. So where U sub 1, Wilcoxon Rank-sum test. The same po siya sa U sub 2, Wilcoxon Rank-sum test. In W sub 1, sum of ranks of group 1, the N sub 1, sample size of group 1. And W sub 2, sum of ranks of group 2. The N sub 2, we have sample size of group 2. Now, in example in Wilcoxon Rank-sum test on how to compute of the 18 selected patients who reach an advanced stage of leukemia, 10 were treated with a new serum and 8 were not. The survival time in years was Hitchcock from the time that experiment was conducted. Using the Wilcoxon rank test at A is equal to 0.05 to test whether the serum is effective. Consider the following. So the treatment 2.9, 3.1, 5.3 and so on. So no treatment, we have 1.9, 0.5, 0.9, 2.2 and so on. So ang gagawin po natin yan, from the word rank sum test, iraranking po natin yan. So paano po yun i-rank? So makikita po natin yan sa another slide. In solving stepwise method, problem number 1 is the new serum effective in treating leukemia. In hypothesis, the new serum is not effective. In alternative hypothesis, the new serum is effective. And level of significance, so A is equal to 0.5, the degree of freedom is equal to N sub 1 is equal to 10, the N sub 2 is equal to 8. So the tabular value is equal to 17. So paano po siya naging 10 and paano po siya naging 8? So balikan po natin yung previous slide. So bilangin po natin to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 in treatment. So no treatment, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So ganun po yun. Kaya po yung level of significance, N sub 1 is 10 and N sub 2 is equal to 8. So in statistic, U test, Wilcoxon Rank-sum test. So arrange the data of both groups from the lowest to the highest value and rank them. The sum of ranks with treatment will be W sub 1. Likewise, the sum of ranks with treatment will be W sub 2. Now, let's focus in this table. So, pinag-rank po natin yung with treatment. So, the rank of 2.9 treatment, we have 9 in rank. So, 3.1, 10.5 to 5.3, nakarank po siya sa 18. So, in this table po, we have another table. Ito po, kung paano po i-ranking, ito po, with treatment. Nakalabas po siya with treatment and no treatment. So, dito po, pinaghalo po yung with treatment and no treatment. Kaya po, pinag-ranking from lowest to highest. So, number 1 to 18. So, there are 18 because 10 plus 8 is equal to 18. And, pinag-ranking na po siya from lowest to highest. So, ito po siya. 0.05, nakasali po siya sa no treatment. And no treatment, yung 0.9, 1.7, 1.9, 2.0, 2.0. So, in this problem, meron pong 2.0 sa no treatment and 2.0 sa with treatment. So, ito po siya. Now, in ranking, same process po siya, magiging 1 to 18 din po siya kasi um kasi po we have 18. Now, in ranking, paano po makikita po natin dito na wala yung 6 because dalawa po yung 5.5 and then 10.5, 10.5. Wala din po yung 11. So, paano po nangyari to? Itong half, 5.5. Now po, pag naka-encounter po tayo sa observation from both groups na dalawa po ang treatment in this equation, kapag po same ang observation from both group, ang gagawin po natin yan para ma-rank po natin sila, ang gagawin po natin is dito po sa number, i-plus po natin ang 5 plus 6 is equal to 11 divided by 2. Ang answer po niya is 5.5. So, kung gusto niyo pong i-check, i-compute niyo po sa calculator ninyo. And then, sa 3.1, ito din po siya. Same process po ang pag-compute natin. So, 10 plus 11 is equal to 21 divided 2 is equal to 10.5 po ang kakalabasan po niyan. So, gagawin po natin is 10.5. So, ganun po ang pag-ranking kapag po may kaparehas na observation from both groups. Now, let's compute the first group and two group. Yeah, the U sub 1 is equal to W sub 1. So, ito po yung formula. So, let's follow. 130, the W sub 1, i-check po natin. The W sub 1, we have 130. The W sub 2 is equal to 41. So we have W sub 1, we have 130 minus the N sub 1 natin, we have 10 times 10 plus 1 all over 2. Now, 130 minus 110 because 10 plus 1, we have 11 times 10 is equal to 110 over 2. And then, equal to 130 minus 55. The U sub 1 is equal to 75. Now, let's proceed to U sub 2. The same process. We have U sub 2 is equal to 5. Now, in 5 decision, selected the smaller value from U sub 1 and U sub 2. If the U computed value is lesser than or equal to the tabular value, reject hypothesis. Now, lastly, in conclusion, since the U sub 2 computed value of 5 is lesser than the U tabular value of 17.5 level of significance with N sub 1 is equal to 10 and N2 or N sub 2 is equal to 8 degrees of freedom. The null hypothesis that the new serum is effective, implying that the patient treated with the new serum live longer when compared to the patient who were not treated with the new serum. So that's end of the topic and the Wilcoxon Rank-sum test on how to compute it. Now let's focus now in last topic. We have the Krukal-Wallis test. Now, what is the Krukal-Wallis test? The Krukal-Wallis test, we have this test is used to compare 3 or more independent groups. This is an unparametric test which does not require normal distribution. This is an alternative for the F-test, ANOVA, in parametric test. So in Krukal-Wallis test, we have the formula H is equal to 12 um, over N times N plus 1, the summation of Ri raised to 2 over Ni minus 3 times N plus 1, where the H, Krukal-Wallis test, N is the number of observation, 12 is constant, and 3 is constant. So now, let's have an example. Consider the examination scores of sample of high school students who are taught in English using three different methods. Method 1, classroom instruction and language laboratory. Method 2, only classroom instruction. Method 3, only self-study in language laboratory. Use the H-test of zero point 0.5 level of significance to test the null hypothesis that their means are not equal. So kasama po yun dito sa example number 1, ito po yung equation. So method 1, we have 94, 88, 90, 95, 92, 90. So we have 6 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in R1, rank 1, we have 17.5, and then the total of 89.5, and then the same method 2, we have 7 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now in rank 2, we have 57.5, and rank 3, we have 24. Now in ranking, kasi po pinagsama na po yung method 1, method 2, and method 3. So ito na po siya. Pinag-ranking po siya from lowest to highest. So nag-start po yung pinaka-lowest, which is 65 up to 95, the 95. So the rank is 1, and then 2, 3, 4, di ko alam po kung error po ito sa libro. We have 6, 6, 6, 8.5, 8.5, 10.5, 10.5. We have 12, 14, 14, 14, 16, 17, and 18. So, yan po ang ranking. Now, in solving stepwise method, in problem are the significant difference in the average scores using three different methods of teaching English. In hypothesis, there are no significant difference in the average scores using the three different method of teaching skills. Teaching English, sorry. The alternative hypothesis. Sorry, mayroon tayong type error. Alternative hypothesis po ito for correction. There are significant difference in the average scores using the three different methods of teaching English. Now, in level of significance, at 0.05, the degree of freedom with H minus 1, we have 3, because 3 method, 3 minus 1, if you have 2, and the tabular value of 5.991. So, in a statistic, H test, so ito po yung formula to be guided, ito po yung 12 over 18 times 18 plus 1. So saan po natin ito makikita itong saan po nanggaling yung 12, saan po nanggaling yung 89, 57, and 24. So makikita po natin yan dito sa table. So ito na po yung rank 1, 89.5, 57.5, and 24. Now, ang 12, kung maalala natin, this 12 is constant and negative 3 is constant. Now, 12 over 18 um, times 18 plus 1 times 18.5 raised to 2 over 6 plus 57.5 time raised to 2 over 7 plus 24 raised to 2 over 5. Saan po ito galing? Yung 6, 7, and 5. Ito po yung number of method. So, yung sa method 1 po, we have 6, and the method 2, we have 7, and the last method 3, we have 3. Ay, 5, sorry. And then 18 plus 1. Now, 12 over 134, because of this computation, now 89.5 raised to 2 over 6, we have 1,335.4 plus 472.32 plus 105.2. Ito po yung total dito. So, minus 57 kasi po pinag-plus yan at pinag-time. So, we have 57. Now, 12 12 over 342 times 1922.56 minus 57. So, let's clarify po itong 342 kung paano po nangyari to. Okay. Compute po natin to check. We have 12 over 134 we have 12 342 times 1922.56 minus 57. So 10 um so tama po. 342 po siya. So 12 over 342 times 1922.56 minus 57 is equal to 67.40 uh 45 8 458 minus 57. Now we have the H is equal to 10.458. Now, in decision, if the H computed value is greater than the X squared tabular value, reject hypothesis. And the lastly, conclusion, since the H computed value of 10.458 is greater than the X squared tabular value of 5.991, at 0.05 level of significance with 2 degree of freedom, the research hypothesis is accepted. This means that there is a significant difference in the average scores using the three different methods of teaching English. It can also be concluded that the three methods are not quality effective. So, that's end of the topic of Krukal-Wallis test. So, thank you po for watching.